Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2000 BC. The album Dad AF. All right, let's get right into this video. And I really thought in the last 24 hours what I want to say in this video. I put a lot more thought into this video than I did into my previous video. But I just want to kind of sit down and have a conversation with you guys, okay? So this is about Trisha Paytas and the Nikocado Avocado video, as well as my video that I made yesterday. And I want to address a lot of things in there, as well as bias within the YouTube community, bias just in general, and just have a real honest conversation about it. So this is what happened, okay? If you guys don't know, which I can't believe you wouldn't know at this point, Nikocado Avocado put out a video, like I think it was like 4 days ago, 5 days ago now, basically showing receipts on how he was supposed to do a collab with Trisha Paytas and that she ended up ghosting him, okay? And I watched the whole video. And then he put a video out 2 days after that, I think it was 2 days after that, going into more detail because Trisha had put up a 43-minute video, basically total deflection of the whole situation, making up excuses, continuing to lie about what happened, even though Nick had irrefutable receipts in his video, okay? When people came to me and they asked me to make the video, the comments that I was getting, the tweets that I was getting, people were saying to me, are you going to make a video about Trisha ghosting Nick? You're not going to address, I mean, people were tweeting me and they're like, no, he won't make the video because he's so biased towards Trisha, on and on and on. You know, and they were saying, you know, like, are you going to do this about ghosting Nick? Trisha ghosted Nick. Did you see the video? It was all about the ghosting, okay? So when I watched these videos, I, honest to God, went into it with the mindset of focusing on the attention of Trisha ghosting Nick, okay? And that's what I talked about in my video yesterday. I left out a huge part that really, really, really needed to be discussed. And I don't really, to be honest with you, know why I did. Maybe it is completely biased. I don't know. I said going into 2019 that I was going to try to be as unbiased on video as I possibly could be. No matter what my relationships were with people, no matter what my interactions were with people, you know, and I was going to get on here and just tell the truth. And it wasn't yesterday that I was avoiding it, and I've really checked myself. I've talked to a lot of people about this, including my best friend, who I'm going to talk about in just a second. I really kind of checked myself against that video yesterday. You know, and it was interesting because so many people were very angry with me about the video that I made yesterday, and I understand that. I understand because I left out the majority of what this was about. And I've had many, many conversations with Nick in the last 24 hours. We've talked a lot on Twitter, and I've also reached out to Trisha, and I'll explain to you why in just a second. So, you know, bias is an interesting thing. Well, anyway, I left out that whole situation in the video, and I don't really know why. I honestly, I don't know why, and I really have no good excuse for it. That is why I'm making this video today. My intention of going into the video yesterday was to do the right thing. My intention yesterday was to go into the video and try to attempt on some level to help Nick get what he is wishing for, okay? Which I will tell you, I talked to Nick, and what he said to me, I said, I want to know exactly what it is you want from this situation. Like, what are you looking for? Because people are accusing you of attention seeking. If Nick wanted to, if this was about attention seeking and views for Nick, he could have done this 2 years ago when his channel wasn't as large as it was now, when he hadn't done all these collabs that he had done with people and all this kind of stuff, right? So, he said to me that he wants her to stop lying, to tell the truth, and to stop deflecting her videos, which she continues to do. She put up a vlog today that she filmed on Mother's Day. In the video, she completely deflects and talks about all other kinds of things. And it continues to tweet out things about, I don't have to collab with anybody if I don't want to, blah, blah, blah. But she's not addressing the fact that for 2 years, she dragged his name through the mud. She sat on YouNow streams with a lot of people, okay? And in her own YouNow streams, and basically said that she didn't know him, which was not true because we've seen that now in the comments, and that she left on his video, and the information that he has that she reached out to him for a collab. So we know that everything that she's saying is not true. It was interesting in talking to my best friend about this. So let me talk about bias for a second, okay? You know, bias is an interesting thing, and it's interesting because I always get accused of having bias, I think more than most drama channels do, and I'm really not sure why that is. I mean, for example, okay, I think it's very clear that there are a lot of drama channels that are friendly towards one or another person, but they don't typically get called out for that on their videos, right? And that's always interesting to me. When there's like drama going on right now and no drama channel is covering it, but they're not accused of, bias. Bias is a very, very real thing, okay? I have been biased many times in my life. I have been biased many times in my videos. I'm attempting to not be biased going forward. That is another reason why I am making this video. I want to do the right thing. I say in my videos all the time that I believe that you have to fall on your face to get back up. You have to learn mistakes. I'm trying to be a better person. When something is shown to me that I have screwed up on, I need to own it, okay? If I was biased towards Trisha Paytas in the video yesterday, I need to clear it up. I need to make the situation right. And Nick has been wronged in this situation, and I need to stand up and I need to do the right thing, because what Trisha has done for 2 years is disappointing and cruel. No human being deserves it, okay? So that's the whole situation with bias. But I think, like, for any of us, I think bias is a hard thing. If you think about, like, somebody that you're friends with, or somebody that you're acquaintances with, or somebody that you've worked with, okay, or somebody that you're a fan of, right? To sit down with them and say, hey, listen, you did blah, 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 blah. You're a complete asshole, you're evil, you're cruel, whatever, okay? That would be hard. Not to mention, one of the things, that I have learned through the years in talking to people is that sometimes people don't really hear things when you say it to them that way. People typically, at least I know, that when somebody comes to me from a point of anger or hatred, I don't really hear it. I kind of shut off, right? So to come to somebody in a way to say, listen, what you did was wrong. It was cruel, it was uncalled for, and you need to make it right. That's kind of how I approach things. That's just me, okay? But I probably was biased in the video yesterday. And I probably was biased in a way that I didn't even realize, okay? So I reached out to Nick and I said, listen, I want to make another video. I want to make this right. Because I completely missed the point, right? I addressed the ghosting. But I completely missed the point that for 2 years, she got on live streams, she talked to everybody about it, she sent clips of DMs, all this kind of stuff that were edited to other YouTubers that made, videos about it. She edited things out, supposedly, and on and on and on. And she just let this reputation of Nick being this crazy kind of stalker person exist out there when there was no truth to that whatsoever, okay? Trisha has no obligation to collab with anybody that she doesn't want to. I agree with that, okay? I will stand behind that all day long. You don't want to collab with somebody, you don't have to. In my video yesterday, I said that, if she didn't want to collab with him, she didn't have to. All she needed to do was respond to him, okay? You don't want to respond to him? Don't respond to him. Don't give him an answer for 2 years. Do I think that's cruel? Absolutely. Do I think that she had any obligation to respond to him as a human being? No. I know people that are 10 times crappier than that, right? It's not the right thing to do. But she didn't have to drag his name through the mud. And that's the issue at hand, okay? So I reached out to Nick and I said, what do you want? Like, what's your end result? What do you want from all this? And he said, I want her to own it, stop lying, and I want her to stop deflecting. And I said, but you want an apology, correct? You want it public or personal? And he said, I would like both. And the thing is that she's put out so much publicly, she's made it public, right? That she needs to rectify the situation publicly. So that anybody going further can look at the video and say to Nick, hey, this happened. He can go, no, this is where it is. Trisha owns it right here, And I think it's really, really hard when you've been lied on, okay? And I've been lied on, right? And so I know, and I think most of us at some point or another have been lied on. And it's like, you don't really know what to do with the situation. Nick was such a fan that one of the things that he said to me was that he was just waiting for 2 years. He thought eventually she might reach out to him and say something, Well, I've had a similar situation with Trisha, okay? And I did have a situation long before I was going to do the video in LA with her that came up at the last minute that I was supposed to meet up with her, and I just didn't hear from her. She didn't drag my name through the mud. I just kind of let it go. I thought this is just how YouTube is sometimes. I get it, right? And at that time, I was going through a lot of stuff, and I thought she just probably, I get it, she didn't want to do the video. But this isn't really about the ghosting thing. This is about what happened after that, okay? And that she went on live streams, and she went and, said things that were not true, is continuing to say things that are not true. Now, Nick said that he said in his video, or that she said in her vlog, that he supposedly threatened her life. she's talking about other people in that situation. I don't know that she's necessarily talking, it's her vlog that she posted today. I don't know that she's necessarily talking about Nick in that situation. I could be wrong. I don't know. Call me biased. I'm just watching the situation. She doesn't say, Nick did this. But she is talking about Nick in that situation, so she could be, right? Trisha, you need to make this right. You know, when I talked to my friend, this is what I said. I called my best friend on the phone and I said, hey, listen. I said, I want to ask you something. And she said, okay, what? And I said, I made this video yesterday and I totally screwed up, right? And she goes, well, what did you do? And I told her the situation, and she watches a lot of Trisha videos, a lot, okay? And I said, I don't really know, like, what to do to make this right. Like, what do you think about bias? And she goes, I think bias is a true thing. It's a real thing. And in all of us, whether you're a YouTuber or not. She goes, how could you be friendly with somebody and not be, you know, biased towards them? She goes, you probably were never the person to make the video to begin with. I probably was never the person to make the video to begin with. And the reason that I did was that so many people asked, right? But I don't know that I could have ever gone into that being completely unbiased. In all honesty, I don't know that I could. So, you know, and I'm trying to rectify that going forward. And if that means that I can't be friendly with YouTubers out there, because then if I have to sit and make a video about them, like that's a hard thing to do, I don't know, maybe that's what I really need to think going forward, you know? So anyway, but like I said, I had also been friendly with Nick for a long time. I had also talked to Nick about doing a collab. So on some level, I was friendly with both of them. And, you know, I said to her, I go, what do you think about this whole situation? She goes, well, I don't think... She said, Trisha believes her lies. This is the problem. She goes, if you watch Trisha's videos, she starts to believe her own lies. And she's not going to really learn from anything. You can say whatever you want to say in a video. You can call her up. She said, and I said, do you think I should call her up? She goes, yeah, I think you should call her up and try to have a conversation with her and say, hey, girl, what you did was cruel. What you did was not nice whatsoever. You need to make it right, which is why I reached out to Trisha. She hasn't responded to me. She probably won't. And I said, you know, like, what would you say in this situation? And she said, you know, she goes, Peter, and we were talking about a friend of ours and that I knew a long time ago. And she said, you know, like, she doesn't really get it until she learns the lesson. She goes, I have stopped trying to point things out to her because I know she's not going to change until she's taught the lesson. I don't know. Does Trisha need to be taught the lesson? I guess she did. Does that mean that Trisha's going to be canceled over something like this? Maybe it is. She sat in a video the other day, and I could not believe she said this. She said, I don't care if I lose 1 million subscribers, but I'll still have the people that want to watch me. She's probably right about this, right? But in the last 2 or 3 days, I've seen a lot of videos from a lot of small YouTubers out there. I mean, I'm talking people that have 100 subscribers, 200 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, that loved Trisha, that were diehard fans, that are saying on video that they can't continue to support her anymore because this is like, it's not that this is repetitive, it's that this final thing is like so much that it really shows because, first and foremost, Nick is an ultra fan. Like, he told me that time and time again. I'm a huge fan of Trisha's. I was holding out. I believed in her. I wanted her to show me that she really did have this kind side that she presents. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. I don't believe that Nick is ever going to get what he wants, okay? You know, if Trisha really wanted to save her thing from all this, and she sits on video and she says, I just try to stay out of drama, the right thing to do to be staying out of drama, the right thing to do to be a better person, to improve yourself, would be to sit on video and own your mistakes, okay? Not about the ghosting, but about the lies that you continue to spread. There are receipts literally everywhere at this point. Trisha, you need to get on video, and you need to own it, and you need to publicly apologize to Nick, and you need to pick up the phone, and you need to call him and make it right. That's all he wants. I said in my video yesterday, okay, I said that pain has no time limit. That you can something can happen to you 10 or 15 years ago, and 10 or 15 years down the road, you still feel it. I had that in my life. I talked about this in my vlog last night. I had a boyfriend of mine when I was 21 to 22 years old, okay? One thing that he said to me listen, I talked about this at length in my vlog last night. We were on an escalator, and he was standing behind me with a friend of his, and he looked at me, and he said, oh my God, you're so bottom heavy. And I go, who are you talking about? He goes, you. He goes, you've gained so much weight in your butt. What happened? I was like 150, 155 pounds at the time, okay? To this day, when I look in the mirror, I still hear that. I still see that. Nick has held on to this for 2 years. The closure, the resolution that he is asking for is really, really simple, okay? All she has to do is own the truth, get on camera, and say, I didn't want to get on and tell the truth because I looked like a fool. but I need to own this because I did the wrong thing, okay? I was caught, I lied, I didn't want to, like, you know, continue. I thought I could get out of this. I can't. I need to do the right thing. Nick, I'm sorry, I own it, okay? You know, and then, because this is the thing, and I said this yesterday too, she literally is holding his pain in her hands, and she can take that away. Why would we not offer that to somebody? I really don't understand that. And that's the point that I'm so disappointed in her, okay? Is that, you know, on top of the ghosting, which really is not that huge of an issue, I got so many people that commented and said to me in the video yesterday that, you know, I'm a YouTuber, or I know somebody that's a YouTuber, and this is not a YouTuber thing. It's been my experience. I'm just saying that, okay? I probably had 5 or 10 people that have completely ghosted me and stopped talking to me. Whatever. They didn't want to do a video with me. It is what it is, okay? But then the aftermath of that was that he didn't drag my name through the mud. That's the issue, okay? Was that when he was staying silent and he wasn't saying anything, she continued to do this. She continued to say things, right? She continued to put things out, even though he was holding on to the truth over here and didn't say anything, right? I know how that is, right? I feel for Nick. So finally he comes out and he gets this out. And the thing that was interesting to me was that even though he had 2 videos out and whatever, he still, like, didn't have any, I don't know, any, what am I looking for? He didn't have any kind of, like, resolution to this. Like, I could tell in the messages when he and I were talking that he was still very angry and very upset about this, right? And that was why I asked him specifically what he wanted, because I think he deserves that in this situation. And, you know, when he said to me, I just want an apology, I want her to stop deflecting, I want her just to own this, okay? I know Trisha's going through a lot right now. I know she's going through a lot of stuff emotionally. When ain't she, okay? When aren't we all? We all have emotional shit going on a daily basis that doesn't make it exempt from having to own the ways that we've hurt other people, period, okay? I've hurt a lot of people in my life. I'm trying to become a better person. I've been doing inventory for like 6 to 8 months on the way that I've affected people in my life and started to try and attempt to make amends to those people to make up for the past. So, you know, that's all she has to do is try to make up for this and wrong the past that she's done. It's really, to be honest with you, the situation is getting deeper than it ever needs to be, and I said that in my video yesterday. She needs to make it right. Period. And the reason that Nick is not able to move on right now is because, yes, he told his truth. And so that feels good. He got that out. But he's not getting what he wants. And all he wants is to hear her say, I'm really sorry. This was really crappy. I shouldn't have done it to you. And this is why I did. And, you know, going forward, it won't happen again. In a sincere, genuine way. Personally and publicly. Because it's affected him personally and because she put it out there publicly. And that's how the whole situation needs to be resolved. And until then, I don't know that I think that Nick is going to be able to move on. I really don't. And that's why I say that she's holding his pain in her hands. And she needs to give him, you know, the exit to move on. That's all he's asking for. And if she needs to take a little bit of a look at some of her behaviors of the past of how she's affected him, just in this situation, you know, I think to see that also what Trisha doesn't understand is if she were able to look at it this way, instead of how she was affected from it, remove herself from the situation and say, okay, I'm not part of this right now. This is about how Nick was affected from this. She might be able to grow from this and people might be able to see that she is growing and changing and working on becoming a different person, you know? And we all need that. We all do. So anyway, that's my update on this video. Unless a whole lot more blows up with this, I am not going to make a follow-up video about this, okay? Nick, I hope you get what you want out of this whole situation. I hope that Trisha publicly and personally, genuinely and authentically apologizes to you. I'm not putting my money on it, okay? I don't think it's gonna happen. And if that doesn't happen, then I hope that you find some grace by finally getting your truth out there. I think you deserve it. I think you have a lot of people that are looking at the situation differently. I know I am. And I want you to know that personally. I've already said that to you in DMs, but I want you to hear it publicly because I did say something about it publicly, that I apologize for that. I didn't know at the time the truth, but I shouldn't have said anything on it at all without hearing both sides. So I wish you all the best. And Trisha, please get on video. Please reach out to him personally. Do the right thing. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow.